Hi Virgo, welcome to your August 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, donated to the channel, all of the above. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you that like to book a personal reading with me, follow me on Instagram or donate to the channel. Just check out the description of the video where you can find all that information. Alright, and for those of you used to my general readings, you might notice that there's different tarot cards on the table for one, and then it's also a different spread. So to cover that real quick, on the left side, we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side, we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And this is a spread that I call the Bridging the Gap spread. So the way it works is the cards on this side would represent your energy towards the connection with your main love interest. This would represent their energy. And then these are the past energies, present energies, future energies. And then after we get through the main spread, we pull some oracle cards to get some additional insights. And that's where the Bridging the Gap dynamic comes into play. Alright, so let's get started with your spread. The past position on your side, we had 3 cards come up. We had the 10 of Coins, which is the equivalent of the 10 of Pentacles. Illusion, which is the equivalent of the Moon card. And 2 of Coins, which is the equivalent of the 2 of Pentacles. So there's a few ways I could see this playing out. First, let me point out that 10 of Coins is actually a Virgo card. It's the last 10 degrees of Virgo. So for those of you with your placement there, this might resonate for you a bit more. But one way I see this playing out is in the past you might have viewed this as a connection that had that 10 of Pentacles potential to it, right? Like, okay, this could be the real deal, right? And then this could just be saying that maybe to an extent that was an illusion, and really where you're at was you're really at that 2 of Pentacles stage, meaning that there's going to be, maybe it can get there to that 10 of Pentacles stage, but it's going to take a lot of work, basically. Saying that, you're pretty much jumping the gun, if you will. And, maybe that's with Neptune in your 7th house, especially when it was square in Jupiter lately, could have just really had you inflating expectations of something. But another way this could be playing out, when I see cards come out together like that, sometimes I see it as this first card representing the outer image that you put out there, but underneath it, how you're really feeling. So on the outside, you might have felt like you might have put out the image that you're very comfortable and feeling fully whole, like you didn't need anything, right? But then underneath it all, right, that was a bit of a facade. Underneath it all, you're a bit confused about what's going on in your life and really trying to decide between 2 different things, possibly, maybe even 2 different people. Maybe trying to balance love and career, because with the red heart there in that one coin, and then the other one looks like it's grayed out or white. I view that almost like as a hot and cold energy. So that could just be saying trying to balance between love and career, or maybe even, this is how you feel about the person. Your feelings toward them might vacillate between 1 minute you're really all about them, the next you're not really feeling that sure. And could also be between 2 people as well. But if you throw the moon or illusion energy in there, that could just be saying that, maybe you're just, they might confuse you, basically. So that might be why you're not sure whether you want to invest in it or not. That could be a way it's playing out. And really what this could be saying is with that eclipse that you guys had in your 5th house of Capricorn. So basically that could just be saying that, all right, maybe you viewed something this way before that point. Maybe that full moon with, there was Saturn energy, Pluto energy in the mix, South Node energy to let you know that, okay, yeah, that's great. You can maybe get to that point, but here's where you are right now. So, there's work to be done, basically. The past energy on their side, they had the 8 of Chalices and the Magician. So there's a few ways I could see this playing out. The 8 of Wands, the 8 of Chalices, rather, which is the equivalent to the 8 of Cups. And the Rider-Waite, it shows a person, there's 8 cups behind them, and it looks like they're walking away from those cups. So that could represent either your energy or their energy, as far as it looks like. The one person here, clearly with the red, looks like they were trying to make a move towards the other person, and they were not really feeling it, right? So that makes me think of the two pentacles again, right? Where we see that hot and cold. That's like hot and cold there. I view that. And then same thing like I was saying with the pentacles. We had the one with the red, hot and cold. So, this could just be saying that maybe they made a move toward you and then you weren't reciprocating. So they might have just actually, if you think of a magician in the traditional sense, you think of them disappearing, right? So maybe they might have made an advance toward you and you just weren't really feeling it. So they decided, well, okay, I'm out here, basically, Another way it could be playing out, too, is just saying that they're really in manifestation mode right now because they actually have the red robe there. So this could definitely be their energy. It could have been you who actually declined the offer. So it could just be saying that they're in manifestation mode right now. So they're at the point where they're like, well, okay, if this person doesn't want to manifest something with me, then I'll go elsewhere, basically, Not to say that, they move on to another person, but maybe they're just at a point where they're ready to get movement going in their lives. So they might have said, okay, well, this obviously isn't happening, right? Maybe there wasn't really any communication. And especially that could be what that illusion is too. You're not telling them how you're feeling, right? Which could be, if they view you, that they think that you're looking at them like, oh yeah, this is the real deal. But then when they make a move towards you, you're not feeling it, right? Maybe you need to let them know that what's going on in your mind. If we think about the Two of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's like the person with their back to the water, right? And it looks like there's definitely stormy waters. So it's like, there could be some emotional turmoil. Maybe you're worried about the future. Maybe you feel like your finances are insecure. So that's making you not really want to put your energy into a relationship. But if you're not letting them know anything, and they're in this type of vibe right now where they're ready to go, then you could see where that could cause some issues. Good thing is, though, in the present position, I see the Triumph card. So this is the equivalent of the World card in regular Major Arcana Tarot. So basically what this could be saying is that maybe that's what that, because this also points to me as a Saturn energy and also North Node. So this could just be saying that during the eclipse season you might have actually really learned some lessons about that, right? Maybe this whole ordeal between the two of you taught you that, okay, maybe I do need to be more open about what's going on with me, right? Or for those of you where you're putting the connection on a pedestal, maybe this is saying, because with all that fifth house energy and pretty karmic energy at that, with that eclipse, it might have made you realize that, oh, okay, now I see that I have to actually put in the work to actually get this connection to the level I want it to be, to that triumph level, right? I mean, if you think about it, the fifth house is the house of romance, right? That's usually the dating. Then the seventh house is the house of marriage. What comes between that, right? What's in between those two houses? Work, right? So obviously it takes work, building routines. You actually have to put in effort to get to that phase. So that could be what it's saying there. And then for some of you, this could just be saying that if you wanted to reconnect with the person, there could be some success with that. In the present position on their side, we have the stars. So this is the Major Arcana card for Aquarius, which is actually your sixth house. So if we're looking at timing, maybe this is just going to say around the time of the full moon. Maybe this is when the two of you would reunite. So, and that can be a good energy for you because with you guys being the natural rulers of the sixth house, Aquarius being your sixth house, you might actually feel some comfort with that too, where you might feel like you have a successful completion there as well. So something to keep in mind there. And also the star, this comes after the Tower card. So I always view the star card as the dissolution of ego. So let's say maybe this was a lesson they had to learn too. Maybe the same similar lesson. Maybe they just thought, oh, I'll just come in and make an advance towards this person, and poof, like magic, things are going to get off the ground and go exactly how I want them to go, right? So maybe they had to learn a similar lesson as well, that it takes work because, maybe this whole thing ended up being like a tower moment for them too, because okay, I'm gonna make this advance towards them. It seems like they're totally into it, seems like they're ready. You turn them down, they're like, okay, maybe they're not used to that, right? Maybe they don't often get turned down, so that might have thrown them for a loop. So now you guys are both in that energy of, okay, well, lesson learned, right? And maybe this is just the two of you coming back together. In the future position, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually the court card for Scorpio. And we also have the Princess of Arrows, which is the equivalent of the Page of Swords. So, to me, what I primarily see this as, especially since for you guys, Scorpio is your third house of communication, this could just be saying that you do want to come toward them with a love offer, right? Again, especially, like I said, if now you came to realization about the situation and you're seeing it more clearly now, with all the retrograde fog clearing away, the eclipse energy clearing away. Maybe it's saying you want to make a love offer to them, but still, you might be a bit guarded about it, since that Scorpio energy could be very guarded. And, maybe you're shy about communicating to them. So, because to me, with the Princess of Arrows or Page of Swords energy, it's like that one foot in, one foot out energy where you could tell that the person doesn't feel comfortable in that position just yet, because obviously they didn't reach knight level, queen level, or king level yet. So it's like, okay, it might take you out of your comfort zone to talk about your feelings, right? Because, okay, if you're already emotionally, if you're at the king level when it comes to emotions, but maybe at the page level when it comes to communicating, right, you could see where that could cause a problem. Like, okay, what you feel is one thing, but actually speaking about it could be a bit more difficult for you. So maybe that's what's going on there. And on their side, we have the Empress card and the Seven of Swords. So it's an interesting combination here. But the Empress represents fertility to a certain extent, and also it is a card that often points to the Taurus energy. So if we look at it that way, as far as if you're coming to them with the Scorpio energy, and they're meeting you with the Taurus energy, could just be saying that you have that natural partnership vibe between the two of you. But the Seven of Swords, on the other hand, so alright, there's a few ways these two cards could be playing out. Maybe the two of you do get together, and then you might say to them, maybe that's what the Ten of Pentacles is about. You're saying to them you want to build a family, right? So on the one hand, that might freak them out, because they're like, okay, you just like totally shut me out in the past, and now you're coming to me and saying you want a family. Where the hell did that come from? So could just throw them for a loop in that regard. Another way it could be playing out as well, and I mean, maybe it could point to that Aquarius full moon energy again, but I'm not necessarily picking up on that here. Another way that could be playing out as well, though, could just be saying that this could be a front that they put up with you, because sometimes the Empress energy is about, it could be about a bit of an entitled energy. The Emperor and the Empress, I view them that way sometimes, where you think about, they're all about ownership. Oh, I'm owed this. Oh, I'm going to take over this land with the Emperor, right? Or with the Empress, I deserve to have things come to me, right? So that's a bit of an entitlement energy, whether you want to view it that way or not. So with that, with the Seven of Swords, it could just be saying that they're putting up that front with you, like, oh, maybe because their ego might have been hurt right now, they might be acting like, oh, all right, well, I'm going to let you come to me and do this and that. But really, they're just really freaked out underneath it all, and that could be what's really going on. Like, that could be what's at play here. And then I will say, too, I know you guys might be freaking out thinking about third-party stuff and everything with the Seven of Swords, but I'm not necessarily picking up on that here. I'll actually read to you what it says from the booklet for this card, because it has a different description. And plus, another thing too, I have to point out before I forget, since this is the Empress, maybe this could just be saying that the two of you are trying to conceive. Maybe you are trying to have a child, and maybe there could be some difficulty behind that, because if we look at their body language, right, it looks like this person looks disappointed, so maybe there's a little bit of trouble with fertility between the two of you. But let me read the description from the Seven of Swords, like I said. Hold on. All right, so yeah, here we go. Let's see if I can get it to focus. All right, well, anyway, I'll just read it. It says, only the beginning is not enough, but it is a beginning. Not every seed can ripen in a day. This is why you must persevere. So again, could just be coming back to what we were saying before. And maybe you both have a role in that in a way, as far as feeling like, oh, we're just going to go from 0 to 60. You know what I mean? It could just be saying that, okay, you guys can get to that level, and maybe even as far as starting a family, or just getting to that point where you feel comfortable with the person to where you even think about wanting to start a family. But it could just be saying it's going to take some work. You can't just expect it to work overnight. And I have to mention before I forget, the bottom of the deck on your side, we have the King of Coins. So this is technically a court card for Taurus, but it could definitely represent you, since you are also an earth sign. And on the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Queen of Chalices. So this is actually a court card for Cancer. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I will say in that regard, that's definitely some maternal energy there between the Empress and the Queen of Cups. Interesting how you have the King of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So, maybe that's also saying that you do find that balance. Again, maybe if you were worried about, well, I don't want to put energy into romance because I'm too worried about my finances right now, maybe it's actually saying you find that balance where, okay, now you're feeling comfortable in the area of finances, and now that'll allow you to open up a little bit more when it comes to love. But yeah, let me just see what additional messages we get with the Oracle card. So first I'll pull some from the Mystic Moon deck. So what I do is I shuffle this deck before we start the reading, but I do like to get these after we talk through the main spread. And what I do is I shuffle it for a bit first, and first I'll see if there's any unspoken messages from you toward them, and then from them toward you after that. Oh, got one. Hold on. It did fall, so I have to go get it. All right. And like I was saying, so basically what I do is I shuffle for a bit, and if nothing comes up, I just take that as a sign. I don't pull one from the top, or, just pull a random one or anything. But now we'll see if there's any unspoken messages from them toward you. This deck's energy is crazy for me. Like, either nothing comes out at all, or the card flies across the room, which is pretty funny. But that's neither here nor there. All right, nothing coming up yet. I'll shuffle a little bit more, see if we get anything. All right, doesn't seem like anything's coming up there, so I'll just stop at that. So the message we got from you toward them says, I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. So, all right, let's look at it this way, what I was saying about the Magician, right? Now, this is just the past energy, so I did frame it around maybe this was as recently as that full moon eclipse that you guys had in your 5th house, but it might even been something from a while back. Because again, maybe they made that move toward you. You gave them the vibe you weren't feeling it, and then they disappeared with that magician energy, right? So this could just be saying that, especially with the world card, maybe with the world card, saying that you have been looking them up online, right, to see what they've been up to. And maybe that was part of it. You realized, oh, okay, they're still single or something, right? So maybe you're like happy about that. Like, okay, cool. I could still potentially get something going with this person. So maybe that's the way it's playing out. And, may not be that. It could still have been something from the recent past, but maybe the two of you just aren't talking at all. Maybe you've just been checking on them online to see what's going on. Because if they did just disappear, you might be wondering, well, what's the deal? So it doesn't have to be anything major. It could just be as simple as that. All right, then the last thing we'll do here is we'll pull an oracle card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. For those of you who do watch my general readings, that's one of the oracle decks I always use, so you're probably used to that deck in that regard. But we'll just try to get some final messages here from this one, and we'll wrap up. Seems like the two of you, there's definitely some love there, I feel, but it seems like the two of you just might need to, at least talk about the fact that there's going to have to be some work put into the situation. All right, hold on. Here's your card. It says, All That Glitters. There's the artwork for it, and the number is 16. So funny enough, I think that's the same number as the Tower card in the Major Arcana. So maybe could just be pointing to what I was saying. Maybe you had it built up in your head like it was 10 of Pentacles, and really it's 2 of Pentacles because you're going to have to put in some work toward it, and maybe same for them. Oh, I'm just going to come in and tell them I want them, and they're going to totally be down. You shoot them down, and then they're like, what the hell, So we'll see. Let me not put too much of my own spin on it. Let's see what the actual messages say. All right, it says a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. The oracle's message, it's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status, or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they symbolically will elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the mask people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all that glitters is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? So that's what's interesting too, because it does seem to vibe with that as far as what I was saying, seeing things in a more realistic light. And what's interesting, like I said, it looks like you guys are both guilty of that to an extent. But it does look like overall, it seems like, yeah, you guys actually do still have an interest in each other, even with all that other stuff stripped away. Just might be a matter of, getting on the same page there. But the relationship message says sometimes we try to become something we're not to impress others. We embellish a story a bit, adding some dramatic elements to make us more appealing. The real person becomes hidden behind the sparkle and shine. Then there are times when we don't see the true value of someone else because he or she may not have the glitz and glamour that seems so desirable. Now is the time to look past the surface, beyond the mask, to the essence of a person. Who that person is, not what he or she has or can give you, is important. See beyond the glitter and look for the inner glow. Use the eyes in your heart. Let go of artifice and let what is authentic shine. So that's definitely a real good message there. I don't necessarily see that playing out either way, where, I'm not necessarily seeing it as you are like, oh, this person doesn't have everything I want, so I'm going to toss them aside, If anything, I feel like you might have just put them on a pedestal, and that even if you do see them more realistically, you might still be interested. And same for them. I don't necessarily see that they necessarily viewed you as, oh, they have this and that's why I like them. I think, like I said, there is genuine interest there. You guys just might have taken an ego blow, basically, for lack of a better way to say it. Um, but yeah, it definitely looks like there's definitely potential there. So hopefully it works out for you guys. Happy early birthday to you also, to those of you who do celebrate in August, and I'll see you all next month. Bye.